Good evening, folks. How we all doing? Welcome to episode 11 of the World Cup Review Show. I know, 11 episodes in. Where does it go? Where does it go? And let me tell you guys, overnight well, I say we almost had another shock in the World Cup. But as always, it didn't come to materialise because a certain player for Portugal came to their rescue. I think we all know who that is. And sadly, Croatia were put out of the World Cup overnight as we're going into the wee hours of yesterday. Bosnia Herzegovina, if we remember rightly, and Austria were put out the World Cup as well. Before we get into today's episode, guys, don't forget that you can download your podcast from all good podcast sites. This one will be available either later on this evening or tomorrow morning. So make sure you have got that notification turned on so you don't miss an episode. And there's also big news coming out of Germany, potential management news for the national team that we're going to talk about a little later on in the show as well. And we're going to look ahead to tonight's games as well. So it's a bumper edition of the show tonight. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, and I do apologise if things are running a wee bit slow tonight. For some reason, my mouse is taking a wee bit of a hissy fit for some unknown reason, but we'll get there. So, like I said, guys, don't forget that this podcast will be available on all good podcast sites, wherever you get them from. And do make sure to turn on your notifications so you never miss an upcoming episode. And with that being said, guys, don't forget as well to subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on this podcast as well. All the social media handles, guys, are down the bottom. So do drop a follow, like, all that lovely stuff. That would really be appreciated. So, like I said, guys, as we all know, overnight on the Wednesday into the Thursday morning, in the wee hours of Thursday morning, the USA beat Bosnia Herzegovina 2-0 with Balogun and Thielman scoring the goals. So well done to the USA for beating Bosnia and being the third co-host nation to qualify for the last 16. All the co-host nations have qualified. Well, certainly the US and Mexico. Mexico's got a great game coming up on Sunday, which we'll preview in tomorrow's episode. And then yesterday evening at 8 o'clock UK time, Spain beat Austria by 3-0. It was 1-0 at half time. Oyarzabal and Pedro Porro scored the goals for Spain. And if I'm being totally honest, Austria even didn't really offer up much resistance. I suppose you could say that their goalkeeper kept the scoreline respectable. He made some cracking double saves in the game, but Spain, for all their attacking flair and prowess, just shone through. Austria, well, they were very below par. If you ask me, Ralph Rangnick brought on Marko Arnautovic far too late to even mount some kind of rescue act, but I'm not a manager, I'm not a pundit, I'm just a podcaster, so that is just my opinion. Congratulations to the European champions of Spain, and Austria's going home. There's not much more I can actually say about that game other than Spain were just at it. They were totally 100% at the races. So well done, Spain, and we'll see you in the last 16. Now, overnight, this is when the shock nearly occurred of Croatia nearly beating Portugal. Now, it was 0-0 at half time, and then Perisic popped up in the 53rd minute to score with a lovely header for Croatia from a great ball into the box. But exactly 15 minutes later, who do you think equalises for Portugal, guys, from the penalty spot? I'll give you one guess. Boom. It was, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored from a penalty spot. Now, I believe, though, if it had gone to extra time, I believe that Cristiano might not be in the World Cup now, because if it had gone to extra time, I think Croatia and a certain Luka Modric in particular would have found a what you call it, a second wind, and they would have gone on to get a victory. But Gonçalo Ramos scored in the 94th minute for Portugal to give them a 2-1 victory and book their place in the last 16. And then at 4 a.m. UK time, yeah, you heard me right, 4 a.m. UK time, Switzerland were taking on Algeria. It was 1-0 to Switzerland at half time, and it was Mbolo who scored the goal after 10 minutes. Then, right away from the restart, now I did see the two goals, and they were very, very nice goals. And Doy scored right after the restart. Sorry, guys, I've got a fly on my screen. In the 46th minute of the game, and consequently, Switzerland won the game 2-0, and they booked their place in the last 16. The last 16 is shaping up to be one hell of around the fixtures, because you've got England playing on Saturday night, early hours of Sunday morning at 1 a.m. UK time, I think. We'll preview that in tomorrow's episode. I know what you're thinking, guys. By the way, that these episodes are getting shorter and shorter. It's just the fact that with it being the knockouts now, there is not as many games to comment on and give you my wonderful take on the day's events at the World Cup. Although with that being said, guys, there is actually a game going on right this very second at the time of recording this. It's the 3rd of July and it's 25 past 7. Australia are taking on Egypt in their round of 32 game, and it's currently 1-0 to Egypt. Imam Ashur has scored the only goal of the game so far inside 13 minutes, and there's 35 minutes gone in that game. So Egypt as things stand, are looking to book their place in the round of 16. And overnight tonight at 11 p.m. UK time, Little Cape Verde. Remember them? If you're Scottish, you'll certainly know the name of Cape Verde now because they beat us in the third place best team sort of league to get into the knockouts. And their reward for beating Scotland and getting into the knockout phase is a game against the world champions Argentina. So let's look at it this way. If it was Scotland on that side tonight, not Cape Verde, my question of the day to all you Scotland supporters out there is, would you want to put your wits against the current world champions, the reigning and defending world champions, or would you want to make a beeline for that plane, send it up in the sky, and come hot footing it back to Glasgow Airport? What would I do? Would I see the boys getting humiliated about 5-0? It might be entertaining, considering we now don't have a manager. Or would I just go back on the plane and make a beeline for the airport? I don't know, but I don't know what I would do. But leave your answers in the comments. It's always very entertaining to read your answers, guys. So please do that for me because that would be absolutely amazing if you could. And I can't wait to see your answers in the comments. Sorry about that, guys. My screen just froze, but I'll get it back up in just a second. Where we are, right? I know where we are. We're here. Where we are. So we were talking about the Argentina Cape Verde game. That's at 11 o'clock, as I already said. Then overnight, in the wee hours of the morning, UK time, at 2:30, we've got one more round of 32 games today. At 2:30 in the morning, UK time, and that is between Colombia and Ghana. Now, that is going to be a very close game for the reasons of Ghana's defence against England was top draw. Top draw. Now, if you can repeat that performance, they have a very good chance of getting to the round of 16. But if, for all intents and purposes, they don't repeat that performance and they go all out attack, they could still get to the round of 16, but they'll have to play very well because Colombia have been again another one of the surprise packages in the World Cup this year. Colombia have been so strong and so resolute, and do you know what? I'm going to give you my prediction for this game at 2:30 in the morning, UK time. It is going to go all the way to extra time and penalties. I'm not going to say there's not going to be any goals because I think there will, but I just think this game is going to go all the way to extra time and penalties. And if it doesn't, I will be very surprised, guys, because on paper, these teams look evenly matched, and I just think it's going to be a draw. As if I had to pick a winner, I would probably say, guys, I would probably edge it just, and I mean just, for Ghana. Reason being is I want to see a repeat of that England Ghana match because that was just amazing. Like, but in like the round of 16 or the quarters or whenever it may be, because that first match in the group stage was just amazing. Um, and believe it or not, guys, that's all the games for today done. See, because we're getting to the knockouts now, because we're getting to the nitty gritty, the games that I have to report on, there's not as many per day. So that is why that these updates, these little episodes, are becoming shorter and a wee bit more streamlined. But we do have some breaking news coming out of the German FA, and that is they are desperate to hold talks with the one and only Jurgen Klopp over their vacant managerial position for the national team. Now, what makes this interesting is we all know that Klopp has his job with the Red Bull Sports Group, but there is a clause in his contract to let him leave to become the German national team manager should he wish to do so. So another question of the day for you guys is, should Jurgen Klopp leave his job with the Red Bull Sports Group to become the new national manager of Germany? Also in other news, it's reported today that Big Ange Postecoglou is out of the running for the Scotland job. This is because he's taken a job in Saudi Arabia with Al Nassr after his punditry duties at the World Cup obviously ends. So, on the one hand, we congratulate Ange on his new job in Saudi Arabia, but on the other hand, I reckon that Scotland's missing out on a great manager and they've missed a trick there, which is a real shame, guys, because I think he would have done a great job with our national team, even though he would have had to take a healthy pay cut um, to what the SFA were able to offer him in terms of wages and a package that he was happy with. And what we're going to do now, guys, is I'm going to preview tomorrow's fixtures for you. If you just give me 1 second, guys, we'll take a look at tomorrow's fixtures in the World Cup for Saturday, the 4th of July. Yes, we're edging ever closer to that day that's ring fenced in red in everybody's calendar. The 19th of July, that is when the World Cup final is going to be taking place at the MetLife Stadium in the USA. And the first last 16 tie gets underway tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. UK time. We've got Canada versus Morocco. Now, does my head rule my heart here because I would like to see the co-host do very well, but we all know the prowess of Morocco, or certainly Scotland fans know the prowess of the Moroccan team after just, what was it, 75 seconds they breached our defence and scored. But hey, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Canada's chances against them. And you know what? If Canada can play like we know we have done during the tournament, we could upset Morocco, and we could make it to the quarterfinals. So, my heart says Canada, but my head says Morocco. Where do I go? I'm going to say Canada's going to do it. I'm not going to give a score prediction because it is going to be tight. But Canada is just going to edge it. Then at 10 o'clock UK time tomorrow evening, we've got Paraguay versus France. Now, Paraguay, thank you for coming to the World Cup. Well done to get into the last 16, but I think your time is over. I think you're going home. Because if France play like they done against Sweden, they're going to romp this game at least by 3 goals, if not more. So, Canada and France to go through in the last 16 in the two sort of earlier games, if that makes sense. And then we'll go overnight. Well, actually, we've only got one more game tomorrow, and it's not overnight. It is at 9 p.m. Tomorrow evening in the round of the last 16, and it's between Brazil and Norway. Well, again, if Brazil play like they did against Scotland, it's bye-bye Alexander Trossard and Erling Haaland of Norway, you're going home. But if the Norwegian Vikings can play like we know they can, it could be tough for Brazil. But I say Brazil's going to edge by about 3 goals to 0. So that is my predictions for the games happening between tonight and tomorrow. And then we will be back, of course, tomorrow as well, previewing the England game on Saturday night, the wee early hours of Sunday morning in the UK. So we'll be previewing that tomorrow for all you guys. Yeah, so thanks for listening to this little episode this evening, guys. It's been a pleasure being around with you to preview the last couple of days and games at the World Cup. I think there is more surprises in store, but certainly not over this weekend, unless, and it's a big unless, Mexico do the business and they win in the Azteca. ABE, guys. Do you know what that stands for? Well, I'm going to tell you. Anyone but, and you can finish the rest. Because I don't want to get into trouble. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Keep it wheelie. Keep it real. And I'll see you on the next one. And as always, guys, if you could like, share, subscribe, that would be amazing. And for more football content, you can check out either the Dugout Football channel on YouTube and the Total 811 Horn Football Podcast on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and YouTube as well. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye bye for now, guys.